Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm trying to reformat as a question. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy. Of course, we will bring this back to, Mr. Mayor, we will be bringing this back for general discussion.
This is questions for...
Right. Okay, I want to address your concern where we talk about in our resolution stopping all trees, and you said to the effect that we are continuing with cutting down trees in people's yards who have agreed. One of the issues that we address in our resolution is the concept of total mitigation and discussion of alternate means. From what I have heard from our constituents is that PG&E presents only one option when it comes to trees. We're going to cut your tree. They don't talk about barriers. They don't talk about the type of tree. Oh, you know, you've got a fern tree and the roots don't go more than 3 feet. You know, we don't need it. What they're getting is, from your subcontractor, is we've got an order to cut a tree. This is a tree. It's within 10 feet or 14 feet, depending on who you talk to, of our line. It's going down. So one of the reasons we're asking, or at least as I see it, we're asking, is for a total stop, is because I believe that in the vernacular there's been a bum rush on our residents in regard to our trees. And I do say our trees, because even though the tree is sitting in my backyard, I've got a 50-foot walnut tree back there, all right? It provides shade on the street. It provides shade on the sidewalk. It is a community asset, which is one of the reasons why we talk about protected trees and heritage trees and historic trees as a community asset, and we require that our individuals, our residents, even if it's on their private property, that they have to take into consideration what happens to the community. And I feel that the instigation of this policy has been so flawed, and that the best thing that you can do is call to a total stop. Because amongst other things, as I understand, you've already verified that there's no imminent danger here in Concord. And therefore, let's take a breath and let's reestablish our communication and the total perspective, make it available, because otherwise we have seen what I would call agreements under duress and under misinformation. We have had reports that people have not been told that they can say no. In fact, quite the opposite, that our constituents have been told, you're going to cut them down no matter what. And this needs to stop. And I think we talk about perception, and it needs to be addressed. And I think this resolution does. Thank you.
Councilmember Birsan.
Thank you. I have a question. Why is the gas pipeline that goes into my house different? We have 44,000 homes in this city. We have maybe gas in 70%. There's pipelines going into every single person's house. There's no point in my house that isn't 10 feet from a tree. Why is it that you have to cut these trees down and these pipes need to be protected, but the pipes in my neighborhood don't? That's number one. Number two, on the issue where you asked for help, I think all of us up here have run a phone bank, and I believe you had 141 homes. That's like 2.5 hours, and we can contact all of them. With staff, they may want to have to take a little more time because they have to do it a little different sequence. So I don't see it as a trouble. You give us the list of the people who have agreed, we can get a hold of them in a day. I can personally offer to knock on their doors, and between this guy and I mean, we hit 6,000 doors each in the last campaign. Him and I can cover 141, you know, after lunch. Thank you.
And before we go to vote, Councilmember Birsan.
Yes, I wanted to echo some of the sayings. We have not taken this action to vilify PG&E. In fact, I brought this, my very first My very first groundbreaking was the PG&E Center, and I'm glad I got this shovel because you can't use it to take my tree. But PG&E has been good to the city, and we've had an open conversation. What we also see here is something that is not unusual to what I would say corporate America, having worked in corporate America for many years before starting my own business. At times you have the finance department and the legal department, and that is the most worst combination you can imagine, gets together with an operational idea, and all of a sudden there's a blast going out to go wild. It's like the old expression, you know, you have a glass with wine and it's half full, and the finance department says, you know, we didn't get enough money for the glass, and the operations guy said, how come I keep filling this thing with wine? And the engineers say, well, it's obviously the glass is too big, when in the reality is the only thing the customer is interested in is how good the wine tastes. And we are the customers. We are the clients. This is a situation where we see a large company who has one arm who does a very good job with our people, and then another side comes in. This is why we must always be vigilant, and we must always be active. And this is why we as a council exist, to protect the domestic tranquility of our community. And the action we take tonight, which I should hope would be unanimous, is part of that responsibility which we have as citizens and residents to make sure that those who serve us in a monopoly or otherwise listen to our needs and take a pause and not allow other considerations of either finance or efficiency to interfere with the quality of life that we have grown and branches out over our entire community. That's why we're here united, and many other groups are united in asking for the same concepts that we have in our resolution. And I fully support the resolution and its amendments. Thank you.
Councilmember Birsan.
Yes, it's, well, again, I'm in agreement, but some other issue just came up in my mind. You know, trees should be innocent until proven guilty. I think we need to take that approach, and that is important. We just can't go around, you know, creating collective death in our woodlands. It's just not the way we do things. Thank you.